What's up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to do something a little different. A lot of people talk about their weight loss journey as an adult. I'm going to talk about my weight loss journey from the time I was a child to the present moment. So, as a child, I was super duper skinny to the point where people thought I was sick. I looked just as stick skinny as you can be. If I can find pictures, I'll insert them here. But yeah, I was so skinny that I looked really tall, my legs were lanky, and all that changed maybe when I was in the 3rd, 4th grade. About this time, my parents had separated, so I don't know if it was depression or boredom or whatnot, but my lifestyle also changed. I focused a lot more on food than I ever had. I did binge watch movies, TV shows, and we had a lot of convenient foods in the house, from TV dinners to macaroni and cheese, popcorn, to goldfish crackers. So I'd literally, other than my main meals, I would also just sit on the couch and eat. So I started gaining weight progressively, not to the point where I was really overweight, but I was bigger than I was before. And clothes didn't fit me as well and stuff like that. And my mom at that time didn't really do much about it because she wasn't sure if it's because I was growing up or not. But yes, that did happen. Alright, so I did continue to struggle with weight gain from around probably the 4th grade to the 6th grade until I started actually working at my mom's coffee shop. I started working ever since I was like 11 years old at her coffee shop up until probably around 16, 17 years old. And the coffee shop is really active job. You're always on your feet all day, either making coffee, taking orders, doing dishes, and so forth. So I was always active, so then the weight gain problem stopped because now I didn't have much time to eat, but I was constantly working and working. Alright, so toward the end of 8th grade, I decided I wanted to try and live with my dad. So now, at this point, my parents are divorced, and basically, I moved with my dad in Beaverton, Oregon, which is way far from Clackamas, Oregon, where I was living, probably like a 40-minute drive. But yeah, I started living with my dad, and my dad didn't really regulate my diet. I didn't have to work at the coffee shop anymore, so I was very inactive. So literally, my day looked like waking up, and I remember on the way to high school, there was a convenience store. I would sometimes stop there and buy some like those crackers, mixed crackers, and then I would get like a full sugared soda, and then I'd go on the walk to my high school, and then I would eat crap at high school. I'd eat like hamburgers, fries, whatever, to the point where sometimes my chest actually hurt from all that deep fried, oiled food. But yeah, and then I ballooned. Like, guys, in a matter of less than 6 months, I went from probably, I never weighed myself, but if I was to guess how much I weighed, I probably went from like 115, 125 pounds to 100 and almost 160 pounds. At my highest weight, I was 157 pounds. And this wasn't a good 157 pounds. It was like mostly fat. And also during this time, like, because I didn't understand calories in, calories out. I didn't get it at all. I just thought like, oh, I'm just destined to be the fat friend now. It got to the point where you couldn't even recognize, if you saw me when I was around the smallest I was, like 120, 115 pounds, to that 157 pounds, people didn't recognize me. Like, my face totally ballooned, like, I gained a lot of weight in my thighs, and I gained a lot also in my calf area and my sides, like the love handle area. So at that time when I was gaining the weight, when I didn't really know what was going on, I started developing stretch marks. Now, because I was gaining weight so quick, my body didn't have time to catch up with these stretch marks, or like kind of stretch very slowly. It stretched so fast that it looked like red cuts, like literally look like bright red cuts. And I swear, it seemed like almost every day I found a new stretch mark. And then when my mom saw me. She just saw me getting bigger and bigger and bigger. She's like, this has to stop. Like, you need to move back in with me, and we need to figure out how to put you on a diet. And I wanted to change too, because I was getting so big so fast. Like, my jean size was, I think, a size 12 at the time to be comfortable. And I love shopping at Abercrombie, and I think Abercrombie's biggest size might be a 14 or something. But yeah, I got to that point where I'm like, if I keep getting big, I won't be able to fit into these Abercrombie jeans anymore. So I moved in back with my mom, and at the time on the radio, LA weight loss was like the thing. Like, it was what the radio talk show host in Oregon was talking about, how they lost weight doing it, and they would talk about it daily, promoting LA weight loss. And my mom really didn't know how to lose weight either, because she never really struggled with weight. She's always very petite lady, from between size 0 to a size 2, below 5 foot. So she's tiny, right? So we go to LA weight loss. They weighed me. So at the time I was 157. I just couldn't believe it. And then they gave me like a pamphlet, like a list of foods I can eat, and then another pamphlet with like a food diary, right? And they basically gave you portions for like, oh, this is how much circle. They portioned it by circles, right, in the pamphlet. So you get, 3 circles for protein, 4 circles for fruits, 4 circles for carbs. And every time, depending on your weight progression, if you're not losing weight or losing weight, the circles change, So, and then in the other book, it would say what each circle represents. So for protein, like how much portion of what types of meat is that? So it made it really easy. It wasn't really calorie counting. It was just following this pamphlet and then filling in your circles with that pamphlet. And then once your circles were filled up, then that's all your calories for the day. So it actually ended up working out really good. The first week I lost 6 pounds of water weight. And then from then on, I stuck to it, and I went down to, I believe, 130 pounds or something at my lowest. Then I got to that point where the motivation kind of wore off, and I felt like I was trapped in LA weight loss. And what I mean by trapped was, while my other friends at the time were eating out and doing whatever they want, enjoying food, and seemingly like they're not gaining weight like I was counting my, like, not counting macros, but I was like living off of this pamphlet. And literally at the time, there's no MyFitnessPal. There's not a lot of online resources for calorie counting. And plus, LA weight loss kind of does that to you, where it doesn't give you the tools you need for everyday life. It just gives you 2 things, and that's all you have to work off of. So depending on where we ate out, I couldn't even guesstimate portions, because I had to live off of this pamphlet. And the pamphlet also had a very limited amount of restaurants that it basically gave my circles for. So I ended up just being like, from stopping a few days to just not tracking at all my portions. And then altogether, I just stopped weighing in, because every week they have you come in, weigh in, and then see what progress you've made. I just stopped showing up, and then I pretty soon quit my LA weight loss membership. And after that, I continued to actually yo-yo diet and struggle with my weight. And then at a later time, I found this book. I forgot what it was called, but basically its premise was to transform your body by, eating clean and, eating a certain amount of portions of protein throughout the day. It had a bunch of recipes. So I started lifting weights, right? At this time, the book really focused on kind of like the bodybuilding lifestyle, like protein, clean eating, and then weight training. So I started following this book, weight training and everything like that. But I did lose weight, but I just still didn't look like those people on the transformation. Like, I just didn't look ripped or anything. It didn't really show you how to change your portions depending on how much progress you were making. So I still didn't get as ripped as I wanted to. I wanted to have the abs and everything, and I still didn't have that. Okay, so then fast forward to my 20s, from early to I guess mid 20s. I yo-yoed in weight, but I was more of I guess I would categorize myself as skinny fat, but a little more skinny than fat, so an in-betweener of skinny fat. But I was also athletic in the way that I actually worked out 5 to 6 days a week, but I focused mainly on running, jogging, cardio in general, and then I would put strength training last. So I'd go for a 3 to 4 mile run daily, and then I would basically finish it off with push-ups, sit-ups, and whatever. And then if I was at a gym, I'd do some strength training, but then I would do a lot of cardio. So then I maintained my weight around the 130s, but still kind of went up and down. Alright, so then fast forward to the time I made my YouTube channel. Alright, so in 2014, of September exactly, I started making YouTube videos, fitness YouTube videos. And at the time, before I started making these fitness YouTube videos, I ran into, well, I always knew about Matt Ogus, but that was back in the day when Matt Ogus used to follow a meal plan, and he used to print them out and meal prep like his chicken and all that stuff. Like if you guys are OG subscribers of Matt Ogus, he used to basically have meal plans and have all his meals set up and then follow that to the T every day. And then later he did find that he could do flexible dieting or counting of macros, and then I remember the first episode where he was counting his macros. He was super excited to like have different foods as long as they fit his macros. And I began like running into a lot of macro counting or flexible dieting YouTube videos, and these people had pretty nice physiques by kind of being flexible and being able to fit in what they like and in moderation, but they're able to fit in stuff like pizza and Pop-Tarts and stuff like that. So then I got into flexible dieting, and that is when I tried to research. At the time on YouTube, there wasn't a lot of free resources like there is today on flexible dieting, like how to set up like at least basic starting point of macros, or how to even make adjustments, or the cardio side. It just seems so confusing because at the time a lot of people were safeguarding that information, because at this time online coaching was starting to blossom. A lot of people started promoting online coaching and didn't put information out there like there is today. So I tried basically making my own starting point macros, but it seems so confusing. One person would say this much percent fat, another person would say, oh, you don't need this much protein, you only need this much protein, and then what about the carbs? And it just got so confusing. And I remember trying to set it up and then set up my starting macros, and it just seemed like I wasn't making progress, and I got really frustrated because I just didn't get it. If I look back in time and I try it again without, having any help, I could have done it if I had patience. And yeah, patience is number one when adjusting macros, because you gotta wait like one whole week in order to figure out what adjustments to make. But the point was that I didn't even know where to start. So I did end up hiring my first online coach. And later I'm going to talk about online coaches more, or macro coaches in general, more in detail. But basically my first coach wasn't as there for me as I wish he'd be. And he's actually has the first mistake I made was trying to find someone with a big following. Not saying that people with a big following is bad to have, but the fact that if you basically can't email or ask a coach some questions and not get a response within 24 hours, then it kind of gives you an idea of how busy that person is. I also hear of people buying plans from online coaches and not hearing a response for days, maybe even a week, of the fact that they bought or purchased, a coaching plan, and then they start getting worried and have to, comment on their YouTube or Instagram to ask, hey, I purchased your plan, where's, a follow-up email or something. But anyways, I'm going off topic. But basically, I hired my first online coach, and for the first few weeks, I wasn't seeing results that I wanted to, and then pretty soon my motivation kind of depleted, and I pretty soon I ended up not even finishing the weeks that we had available. I didn't even ask for a refund. I just let him keep the money and whatever, and I didn't use up the rest of my coaching with him. And then later, I really wanted to change my body and everything, so I looked for another coach that was more available. He responded to me right away. And, you know, I get the fact that people have busy lives, but as an online coach myself today, I try to make it a priority to respond as soon as I can. But sometimes I am busy, so maybe I won't be able to get back to a client within a few hours, but I always get back to my clients before the 24-hour mark, if not way before then. But my battery's running out, so I'm gonna switch the batteries. With that, so I did switch to another online coach, and it was Matt Keto, who taught me a lot about why he's making the changes he is. He explained a lot of things to me, which clarified a lot for me. So basically taught me how to fish, and basically taught me how I could coach myself. And then I saw the most drastic results in my physique, because not only did he provide my macros, but he provided encouragement along the way, and sometimes even tough love, telling me, you know, you need to stick to your macros in order to see results, or blah blah blah. So then I dug deep and I got the physique I wanted. I was as lean as I've ever been in my whole entire life. Now, was I contest ready? No, but I was still the best I've ever been in my entire life as far as the leanness aspect, with keeping the muscle tone. So I'll insert pictures here of what I ended up looking like. But yeah, then I saw the results I really wanted, and I love the macro thing, and I found that counting my macros taught me how to basically eat smartly without actually having later to count my macros. So when I'm not cutting, now I'm able to kind of gauge how much protein did I have during the day, what are my fats looking like, what are my carbs looking like, or overall calorie consumption. Alright, so fast forward to today, I am cutting again, and I actually do have a coach. Now, I haven't been coached by anybody in quite a while. It's been like over a year, if not like almost 2 years since I've ever been coached by somebody. But the reason why I found another coach was not because, like, technically I could coach myself, because I do coach people to lose weight. It's very easy. But the thing about having a coach in general that's nice is the fact that there's that accountability there. There's that person who wants you to succeed. You know, basically in the world of coaching, if you get your clients results, then it shows how great of a coach you are. And it also is a good way to basically promote your coaching by getting your clients results. So that was my thinking in getting a coach this time around, was the fact that I wanted that accountability there. Because the fact is, when you're actually paying somebody for a service, you want to stay accountable, because you spent your hard-earned money on all of the weeks or months of coaching you have with them. And that accountability factor, basically that person being like, hey, you haven't checked in, like, are you doing okay? You know, or hey, remember check-ins on Sunday. Or some coaches will just set up check-ins, weekly check-ins, when to check in. And when you know you need to check in with somebody, you're not gonna, like, at least with me, I have integrity. I'm not gonna lie to them if I did mess up. I'm gonna tell them the truth, because it all goes, you know, you basically can't be like, oh, I counted my macros to the T and then you gain like 5 pounds. There's just no way that could happen. So basically I have a coach, so I have that accountability factor there. Now later in this cut, I may do a coach reveal. I'm not sure though yet, but yes. So yeah, right now during my weight loss journey, this is actually the highest amount of macros that I've been able to cut on. And I think the fact is that I'm very, very, very accurate this time around compared to the last time when I was coached by Matt Keto. Like, if I was to be honest with myself, I wasn't as on point as I should have been when I was coached by him. And that's just me being honest. Like, I wasn't this accurate. Like, it's better to undereat a little bit than to overeat. And I'm just letting you guys know that basically every week I felt like I was paying the consequences of overeating on the weekend or just not counting my macros. Because sometimes I would just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want and I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, you know, I would make excuses like, oh, this is like a one-time thing that I'm going to be at this event, or this is like a one-time thing that I'm going to be traveling to this thing. But the fact is I travel and go to events quite frequently back then, and I shouldn't have kept doing that, but I did. So anyways, you guys, that is basically this summed up version, hopefully, of my weight loss journey. I may cut some clips out because this is getting really long. But yeah, when I was coached by Matt Keto, I ended up, because I was messing up almost every weekend, literally just eating like whatever I wanted, pretzels, snacks, whatever, unaccounted for. I was on, at my lowest, 125 carb, I believe 35 fat, and 130 protein. Something like that, but I remember the carbs were at like 120 something grams, and it was mainly because I kept screwing up, but had I not screwed up, like if I was as accurate as I was today, my macros probably would have been a bit higher during the part where I was losing the fat, but yeah, you guys, right now, still on 200 something grams of carbs, not too bad on cardio, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and it also could be because I'm on Max Hype, which is a hypertrophy program, and I am lifting an hour and a half a day instead of before I'd lift maybe 30 to 40 something minutes per session, and I really didn't have a structured plan. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and you know, the 90-day journey is still going strong, and actually I just realized it's January 26th. And guess what? My bod pod appointment that I scheduled is on February 1st. And I believe I put it on my calendar, 9:30 a.m. right here, baby. So we do have a bod pod appointment coming up, and I am hoping that this time I have the results that I want, and I'm going to share it with you guys when I do get that bod pod done, but it is coming up February 1st. Stay tuned, you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please drop a like. It really does help the channel grow. And if you are new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you subscribed if you want to follow my 90-day cutting journey. We're basically almost a third done. We started this cut January 1st, and the cut is ending exactly in 90 days. So I believe that is beginning of April time frame that this cut will be over. And yeah, hope you guys have been enjoying the Change Your Life series. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.